The Caitlin Clark rules. The basketball star's domination on the court is one of the most inspiring things in all of sports. Does it represent a revolution or evolution? There was a way, for a while, to beat Michael Jordan by beating him up. The Detroit Pistons did it year after year, deploying a defensive scheme that involved trapping him over and over, shoving him through screens, bullying him through picks, sending 2 or 3 bodies on him, and knocking him off balance, off his shot, off his cool. They call their strategy the Jordan rules. It was smart. Jordan was unquestionably the best player in the league, unstoppable on his own terms, but the Pistons eliminated the Chicago Bulls from the playoffs 3 years in a row. There was a personal edge to the strategy, too. Jordan was a talent of historic proportions and the most popular player in the game. But he was also human, with his share and more of foibles and appetites, and he pissed off a lot of people, partly by his actions and partly just by being Michael Jordan. Isiah Thomas, the Pistons' leader, reportedly organized a plan to keep the ball away from Jordan during the 1985 All-Star Game, when Jordan was a rookie, because the veterans were jealous of all the attention that Jordan was already getting and wanted to send a message that he had to wait his turn. The freeze-out game, as it came to be known, was probably more of a media concoction than the full truth. Thomas had always denied it, but there's no question that Jordan used such slights, or his perception of them, as fuel. The NBA. Back then was a niche entertainment, beloved by some, but financially tenuous, at times moribund. A few players and rivalries had broken through into the popular consciousness, particularly Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, but as late as 1986, playoff games were shown on tape delay rather than aired live. Jordan changed everything. By the time the sports writer Sam Smith published a book about the Bulls' 1990-91 season, in which Jordan and the Bulls finally broke the Pistons' stranglehold on the Eastern Conference, Jordan was one of the most famous men on the planet. Smith called his book The Jordan Rules. The title alluded not only to the way the Pistons defended him, but also to the accommodations that the Bulls made for their star, on account of the special status he had in the league. He was a phenomenon, as unique a cultural figure as the sport has seen. But he couldn't have done it alone. The Jordan rules weren't Jordan's rules. He didn't write them. On Tuesday night, Caitlin Clark was poked in the eye by the Connecticut Sun guard J.C. Sheldon, who crowded Clark as she reeled. She pushed Sheldon, and then was rammed to the ground by Sheldon's teammate Marina Mabrey. Clark had been shoved and grabbed all night, and had done a little shoving herself. Much of it had escaped the censure of the refs, which set the scene for the scrums that followed. By the end of the night, there had been 5 technical fouls and 2 flagrant fouls issued, and 3 players had been ejected. One of the 5 technicals was later upgraded to a flagrant foul. Everyone agreed that the referees should have kept tighter control of the game. The low quality of officiating has been an ongoing problem for the WNBA. But that's not what triggered the news alerts that followed. It was seeing Clark get pushed around again. The image of Clark burying absurd 3-pointers off the dribble and on the run, as she did in that game against the Sun, and as she had done 3 days before in a win against the defending champions, the New York Liberty, who had previously been undefeated, is one of the most inspiring things in all of sports. And the media and online chatter that surrounds Clark is one of the most depressing. A lot of that discussion, a polite word for it, centers on whether Clark is overly targeted by her opponents and why. Social media is flooded with compilations of her being whacked and hitting the deck. 4 longtime fans of the league, and it seems for more than a few people in and around it, the context of all that contact is important. The league is very physical. These tenured fans explain to the new ones or casuals. Players, especially rookies, get this treatment all the time. And Clark is a very good player, a great one, but she's not on the level of Aya Wilson or Brianna Stewart or Nafisa Collier, at least not yet. Failing to recognize this context, these fans suggest, is a kind of erasure. It diminishes the history of a league that has long been full of great players, most of them black.